You tonight.
How do you know that you're right?
Impossibility of the contrary.
How do you know it's impossible?
Well, it's called a transcendental argument. Is probably the best proof for the existence of God, and it proves the Christian God. The transcendental argument. If you're familiar with philosophy, you probably heard of Immanuel Kant. Maybe you've heard of Immanuel Kant. If you're familiar with the history of philosophy.
I'm not into philosophy. I'm into the truth.
Well, there's philosophy is behind all truth. That's depending how you define it. It's like, let me ask you this: you believe there are laws of logic? You believe you're yourself a logical man?
There's yes, there's laws of logic.
Okay, so if I were to ask you where they were and where did they come from and where do they exist, what would you say?
We created them to explain things in the.
So why though are they identical all through history and globally? Like, there's not different kinds of math in Babylon or in Egypt. Do you think we created math? So we could create it differently. We could make 2 and 2 equal 5, right?
No.
Right, because we didn't create it. It was a reality. If you're familiar with philosophy, you understand that's one of the things that philosophers always point to is the absolute, universal, invariant laws of mathematics that can't be explained apart from a universal mind because they're apprehended with your mind. Right?
I disagree.
You think
we came up with mathematics to explain the stuff that we observe as humans.
So why is there not? You could create in that. If that's true, it's just like a convention.
I didn't say create. I said we came up with.
Well, what's the difference?
We see this. It's like
what philosophers usually say is we discovered them, not that we invented them, but that we discovered. Most philosophers that down through history have recognized that they exist independent of us. Like before I existed, there were still laws of math, and their mental.
Were there before we were on Earth? Was there laws of math, or did we come up with those to explain things?
No, they govern the universe. That's how we got to Mars.
I disagree with that.
That's how we got to Mars. That's how we got around the moon.
Yeah, but I disagree
It's math.
with that.
Do you think math? We invented math and made it to the moon. If math didn't apply to the whole universe, sir, we wouldn't have been able to go to Mars or the moon.
No. I mean, we created that. We came up with. We discovered
math.
So it helped us to get to Mars and Earth and stuff. How did you come to know and believe that Jesus is God?
Well, the scriptures.
Okay.
Yeah, but the same scriptures.
You didn't feel anything. It's just you read the scriptures, and that's how you.
Well, you have a born again experience. Some people call it that, but.
Okay. But so, what made you believe Jesus is God?
Well, I believe when I was a kid, so it was the conviction of the Spirit. But I was young, but I've studied a lot since then, and all it's done is confirmed that the Christian God is the only true God and cannot be denied without denying rationality and science.
Okay. But can a Muslim think that Allah is a true God and feel the same as you do?
Right.
Can he?
No, well, there's logical fallacies within Islam.
Doesn't matter.
It does, because that disqualifies it from being rational.
Okay.
Like you believe in rationality, right? You don't believe in God because you believe it's irrational, I'm assuming, right?
No, it's rational to believe it if you believe it. Can a Muslim believe in Allah as the true God and be correct or be wrong?
No, they're wrong. It's demonstrably wrong.
Can you believe that Jesus is the God and be wrong?
No.
Why?
It's impossible. Because if you...
Do you understand the logical fallacy here?
No, that's not a fallacy. You don't understand what Islam believes.
I understand what Islam believes.
Okay, well then you understand
that... You understand. What about Mormons?
No, Mormons are an aberrant of Christian faith.
Yeah. I mean, they have
burning in the bosom. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Burning in the bosom.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not rational.
Okay,
it fails.
What is rational?
Well, let's take, like, for example, laws of mathematics, right?
Laws of mathematics.
Yeah, like you believe in rationality. I mean, I don't know if maybe you don't believe laws of logic apply to everything. I mean, maybe you think
you're kind of talking in circles and stuff.
No, I believe in logic, and it applies to everything, and that's how everybody lives their life.
Yeah.
You do too. I'm just trying to see the source of it. The source of logic is the Christian God. The source of science is the Christian God.
The source of science is the Christian God.
Yeah. The laws of physics.
So?
Well, again, if you just, I'm not trying to bring
My
this.
wife's going to be pissed at me, but I just want to do this.
Well, if you understand the history of philosophy, there's been a continual argument for the last, since 300 years, about the problem of induction.
2,000 years ago, yeah.
Well, no, but I'm talking about the last 300 years. David Hume pointed out the problem of induction.
What makes you think?
I'm explaining it.
I know, but don't go all there. Let's go down.
Okay, I'll make it easy. Cause and effect is what all basically science is, uniformities, or that the same things will continue. The uniformities that we've experienced will continue in the future.
I don't mean to be rude, but you're talking in circles. What makes you believe Jesus is God? Is it a
The
feeling?
Bible. No, the Bible tells me Jesus is God.
The Bible.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It also explains what you experience. It provides you with a philosophical framework to make sense of everything.
So the Bible. So
Right.
you believe the Bible is true?
Yeah, and I believe it's impossibly that it can be wrong.
Okay. So you believe the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are true?
Yeah.
Do you believe they're eyewitnesses?
Yeah. Well, Mark was not an eyewitness. He was, and Luke was not an eyewitness. He was just accounting. He tells you in the first.
Okay, so you think two of them were and two weren't?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were companions of the eyewitnesses. So
You think they were? They were companions, or they reported?
No, I
what
mean,
the eyewitnesses said.
even atheists who are expert and scholars in the field do not deny. This is called the minimal facts. Like even atheists
I know.
that are
Minimal
experts.
Facts is Gary Habermas.
Yeah, but you know who? But you're familiar with Bart Ehrman?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So he would tell you Jesus absolutely died on the cross by the Romans.
No.
He was crucified.
He says the
I can show you right now on YouTube. He says
evidence
it.
shows you that he did. It's
Right.
not absolute, but he believes
But
it.
no, he
I believe
believes
it too.
authors, but also
Which are the four Gospels,
yeah, but there's also
which were anonymous reports
Right.
written decades after, based upon people's
well, that's not
testimonies.
What, yeah, but see what
Is
you
that
don't
true or
understand
not?
is
No, stop.
yeah, but
Is
you don't
that true
understand
or
the
not?
framework in which that works.
No.
There were rationality. See, you're not understanding the framework here.
So you're not gonna go with
No, I know where you're going with it. I've heard all this before. I've heard it for decades.
And
I've heard it
debunks everything
for 30
you
years. I've been
believe.
listening to this. I know where you're going with the argument.
Yeah.
You're going to say, well, it's scant information, and it's eyewitnesses, which is unreliable, and you're going to go that route.
It's reports of eyewitnesses.
Right, but you're going to say that the reports are historical documents that are so many years removed from the event, and so therefore it's untrustworthy. Yeah, I'm saying I've heard all this before, but what you don't understand is that in order, you don't understand that the necessity of the Christian God. Like when I say what is evidence?
Necessity of the Christian God.
Yeah, like if I say
why is a Christian God necessary?
well, because unless he exists, you can't trust your thoughts to be brief, to be concise. If he does not exist, you can't think logically, you can't trust your thoughts rationally. There is no science that you can account for.
So you're making a bunch of claims which makes no sense.
No, I'm saying if you think about
You're
it,
making claims
if you
which
think about
make
it,
no sense.
it makes perfect sense if you
To
think
you,
about it.
which is fine, but
No.
it makes no sense.
Okay, that's what I was trying to explain before. You believe there are laws of logic, right? Laws of math,
Yes.
which is how, and then they've applied all through history, right? Because you think when we're denying the resurrection of Christ
Let's
now,
talk specifics. You're talking all
the
this.
resurrection of Christ is specific.
Okay.
So his resurrection.
Tell me what happened when Christ resurrected. Who was there?
The Christian church started.
No. When Jesus, and I agree, Jesus was most likely crucified.
You believe in probability?
Stop. No. Listen to me. Jesus was most likely crucified, and if he was, he died. And if he died...
If you reject God from the start,
listen,
yeah.
You're going.
Trust in Jesus
You wanna
Christ.
do this or
That's-
not?
Well, I know what you're going to say, but you don't know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
And so you
If
don't
he
want to learn.
died,
You just want to instruct me.
the mayor...
I've already been there and done that. I know what you're going to
So
say.
you're done.
No, you asked me.
That's no...
No, you asked me. I was trying to explain it, and now you want to tell me how I'm all wrong, and you don't even know what I'm going to say.
See, so you're getting offensive now.
You're saying, could it all be faked? Is that your basic point,
Could he
right?
have used the Old Testament and wrote that based upon the Old Testament?
No, because it was prophesied
By
before, and there were
By what?
eyewitnesses of Christ.
Who prophesied it before?
But beyond that
Nah,
point,
you're on. Okay,
so
so
let me make my point to you, because
You're not.
your arguments are worn out, and you don't even know the transcendental
That's fine,
argument.
dude.
You don't even know you're not even familiar with philosophy. You don't understand the philosophy of science. You don't even care. You're just basically saying it doesn't matter. I read a book about Bart Ehrman or somebody, or a couple of
You're
books.
the one that brought up Bart Ehrman. I didn't say anything about it.
Whoever.
I
I'm just
studied
saying
this shit for the last 6 or 7 years. I studied counter-apologists and apologists.
But you don't even know what the transcendental argument is, so you didn't study the right people.
Transcendental argument.
I'll give you a debate. If I give you a debate, will you watch it?
No. Tell me what the transcendental argument is.
I was trying to, and you interrupted me. It's the argument that... No, you interrupted me and you went down the rabbit hole, and I was trying to tell you what it was. I'm just telling you that so that it doesn't happen again. When you first asked me, and I said the transcendental argument, and I was trying to explain it, basically, the proof of God's existence is that unless his existence is...
Christian God.
Yeah, Christian God. Unless the Christian God's existence is assumed, you can't justify belief in laws of logic, laws of math, laws of morality, and physical laws.
So unless you assume that Christian God is real,
you cannot make sense of laws of logic.
So you're a presuppositionalist.
Right, presuppositional.
Okay, well,
you have to presuppose.
I presuppose that the universe is necessary and it began because it had to.
But you can't trust your thoughts. Are you determinist?
Do you trust your thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm presupposing.
Yeah, I have a basis to say that my thoughts are trustworthy because God made me in his image.
Because
you don't want to hear because you know you're afraid. You're afraid because you've never thought about this. You're afraid of it. That's why you're interrupting every time. Because you asked me a question, I'm trying to answer it. The reason that I can say my sense data can be trusted.
Your sense data.
Yeah, that's a philosophical term. Your sensations, your sight, hearing, thinking, reasoning, what science is based on. The reason that's possible is because God made me in his image, and he obligates me to be logical, to be scientific, and to be moral. But in your worldview, if you reject that God, you have basically matter in motion.
What if I don't reject the Islam God?
Well, I can tell you how the Islam God fails.
What if I don't reject the Mormon God?
Well, let's talk about your worldview.
The Hindu God.
They all fail, but let's talk about your worldview. What do you think? You're a materialist? Do you think everything's just physical matter?
Yes.
Okay, so what are the laws of logic? Are they physical matter?
Part of the universe.
Okay, so they're physical. They evolved. Where are they?
That's just how we interpret stuff, and that's...
But you said everything's physical, so laws of mathematics are physical.
They're what we came up with to explain a lot of stuff.
Okay, so they're abstract, right?
Okay, there you
so
go.
they're not physical.
That's fine.
And abstraction is not material. So you just refuted yourself within the first 5 seconds of your laying out your worldview. I'm just trying to show you that this is what happens.
I think everything's material, but we come up with abstract stuff because how to explain stuff like love and morals and things like that.
So then laws of logic are abstract laws, right?
I suppose.
I'm just trying to say.
I suppose.
Yeah. But if they're not, then that means they're physical, and you would be a determinist, if you know what that means. That means you're a material.
I don't believe in free will. I think everything's determined.
You're a flesh robot, basically. Flesh robot. This means you don't control your thoughts, and so the only reason you believe what you do is because you can't believe otherwise. What kind of an argument is that?
Correct.
So you're wasting your time. You're just basically saying...
Could you have not stopped and talked to me tonight? Did you have a choice to, say, go off and go do your thing? Or you think you did? Yeah. You don't think... See, I don't think you did. I don't think I had a choice.
I know you don't. That's what a materialist believes.
Yes. I don't think
but see,
I did.
You say you're a materialist on the one hand, but then you appeal to laws of abstract logic on the other hand.
I'm not strictly materialist. I mean...
You're a dualist.
That is...
You're a dualist.
I don't know if that's a little...
I'm just trying to help you understand your philosophy, which you apparently have never researched.
Okay, I'm not into the philosophy.
I know, because you don't know what you believe. I'm trying to show you that you don't know what you believe.
I know
That's why you're contradicting yourself right now. You're saying, on the one hand, I'm a materialist. My thoughts are physical only. I don't control them. And then you try to prove a point to somebody. It's like, why would you think that if everybody's physical matter, why would you even think that you could convince anybody of anything?
You can't.
No, I know.
You're Glenn Ross and I'm brainwashed.
But you can't say that you know it's true. All you can say is I have things in my head.
I know it's true. You said you knew it was true. I said this is what I think. You think
okay, but you reject Christianity, right?
Yes.
All that you should have said was, the reason Christianity doesn't exist is because things in my brain aren't functioning in that way.
No.
That's all you believe.
I think Christianity is false based upon
because you're a determinist. No, your studies have nothing to do with it.
Because
you're a determinist.
Okay, no, it's not.
That's what determinist. Now you're contradicting yourself from that.
No, I'm not. Why do you?
You're a bundle of contradictions, sir.
You're fucking with me. Why do you think Christianity is true.
The impossibility of the contrary. Because this is what happens.
So,
what you're demonstrating right now what happens when you don't assume the Christian God. But what I'm telling you is, when you come up to somebody and you say, I don't believe in anything other than the fact that I am determined to believe what I believe, that's, you can't even say you know it to be true. All you can say is,
I didn't say I know it to be true.
Things are in my brain that I can't control.
I can change my mind.
No, you can't. You just told me a minute ago that you were walking down through here.
I'm determined to believe what is true, but I'm also able to change that if something comes up. So it's not like I'm determined to hit my head against the wall.
Well, what was your point earlier when you said, could I have not talked to you?
That's free will.
Okay. So do you believe in free will or not? A minute ago you didn't.
No, of course I don't.
Okay, so then how can you freely change your mind when you do research?
I don't change my mind.
Your mind just changes, right?
Yes.
Right, that's determinism.
Okay.
So you can't know it's real. All you can say is, my brain changed.
Yes.
Chemistry happened in my brain.
I'll take that.
It's bankrupt because now you don't know anything to be true.
So do you know anything to be true?
Yeah, I know you're wrong.
How?
Because you just demonstrated. The law of contradiction.
How can you be wrong? You can't be wrong, but I can.
The Bible can't be wrong. I can be wrong,
Okay.
yeah.
The Bible can't be wrong.
Right.
Okay. So
because if it's not true, we end in something like
who wrote the Bible?
God through men.
God through man.
Yeah.
So inspired by man, the four Gospels, Paul.
Inspired by God, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, let me just say this real quick. If the Bible's not true, we end in a philosophy like you're demonstrating right now. Foolishness.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Well,
it's self-refuting.
Corinthians 19, some type of a thing with.
Well, Job didn't kill
God
anybody. He didn't tell God, or God didn't tell Job to kill anybody.
Well, who killed his
Satan.
parents? No.
Satan killed his...
Satan.
Yeah.
Satan made a wager. Satan's not the one that killed him. Satan killed like 12 people. God killed millions.
Let's get back to the main point.
No.
Okay, well, if you think you got a contradiction, hurry up. Because what I would ask you was, even if you find a contradiction in the Bible, you don't believe in laws of logic. So what does it matter?
It matters. So tons of people.
There's no contradiction, but here's a contradiction.
So you're changing this because.
No, I'm showing you where you're full of contradictions.
Did Satan?
Job's kids were killed by the devil.
No.
Okay.
The devil made a wager. God killed him. Say it or don't say it.
He didn't.
God killed all the kids on earth.
No, go back and read Job 1 and 2. You'll see.
Okay.
But I mean, what's your point? So what?
What did he do?
There's no morality in your worldview. It doesn't matter. Go kill anybody you want. Be contradictory.
So morality is.
See, here's your worldview. Go kill whoever you want. I know, because you've been talking a long time. Let me just say this. In your worldview, it doesn't matter who you kill because there's no laws of morality. It doesn't matter if you contradict yourself as you've done multiple times tonight.
Because never kill anybody.
Well, right, because you're
going to kill Jobs.
No, but if you're a meat machine, you might kill somebody. You don't know. You can't control yourself. But the point is, it doesn't matter if you contradict yourself in your worldview because contradiction doesn't mean anything. It's meaningless.
You're just making stuff.
No, I'm trying to tell you where you're full of contradictions.
You're making stuff.
Do you understand the law of contradiction?
You're making stuff.
I didn't make up the law of contradiction.
You're using that to say stuff.
I'm trying to instruct you on the transcendental argument that you're not familiar with.
We were down to that Satan cussed. Evolution has made me empathetic to people.
Well, evolution made Hitler unempathetic to the Jews, but empathetic to the Aryan race. So what? What does that prove?
Hitler was Catholic, dude.
So what? Doesn't matter.
He believed in God.
Yeah. So
every Nazi had.
They were evolutionists. All right. But also, man evolved the ability to kill men.
Everybody evolved
right?
the ability to kill everything.
Okay, so if man evolved the ability to be compassionate and man evolved the ability to kill, who cares? How do you say one's wrong and one's right? They're both just bodily functions.
Because we're in a society.
They're like bodily functions.
If this guy's trying to shoot somebody, I'm going to kill him. Come on.
I hope you do.
That's silly.
What I'm saying is, the only reason you can say that is because your worldview's wrong and the Christian worldview is right. And you've been made in the image of God and you understand right and wrong. You're trying to say this is moral, this is immoral, God's immoral by killing people. Those are moral laws, but unless that God exists, then moral laws are just a thing that's in your brain that you don't control.
Yes.
And so
in society.
Right, but so what if some people kill other people and some people don't kill other people?
Because society.
You just don't like it, is all it amounts to.
Yes.
Right. Most of the laws of logic.
They do in transcendental.
But it doesn't matter because you don't care about
3,300.
But
you see when they're putting the Bible together, were they talking about transcendental arguments? No, they weren't talking about that.
Right. So
this is you
what's the point? What is your point?
Trying to rationalize and defend this incredibly stupid.
Right, but see, in my worldview, things have to be rational. In yours, they don't. You can contradict yourself left and right, like you've done all night here. Contradict yourself, and it doesn't matter.
See, I think I'm rational. I think
I know you do, because you're a meat machine.
You're rational
you're a meat
because
machine. You can't help but think that.
You believe this, so I can't argue with you because you believe this is true. So it's like, okay, well, that's rational. You have whatever it is.
Laws of logic, laws of math,
whatever it is,
laws of science, laws of morality, which you don't have any of that in your worldview.
Okay, yes, I do. So you think you have that, I don't, and you're correct.
Because of the impossibility of the contrary, yes.
Because of the impossibility
of the contrary, yes. If you deny the Christian God, then you don't have the laws.
Impossibility of the contrary means of it not being able to be different.
Right. Well, maybe not to you if you're a meat machine. If you're closed-minded, I can't help you.
Show me, I will show you a different debate, and you're not going to agree.
I've listened to Christopher Hitchens. I've heard all his stuff. I've listened to
brainwashed in Christianity.
Right.
I'm brainwashed on atheism, and we're not going to be able to change it.
But what's different is you don't know about the transcendental argument, and that's what you should research. So I'll leave you with that because you've not thought about it by your own admission, and so you're unaware of it.
Okay,
so you shouldn't answer a matter before you.
The transcendental argument.
Well, I can't tell you. This will be the fifth time I've tried.
Do it again, and I'll shut up.
Okay. If you believe that there are laws of logic, laws of math, laws of science, and laws of morality, because the God that's described in the Bible is the source of those things, and if you reject...
I don't think he is.
I know you don't, that's what I'm saying. If you reject his existence as you do, you end in incoherence as you demonstrated tonight. Okay. You contradict yourself repeatedly, and you don't care, and it doesn't matter.
There are gods of law, math, morality, and they're based upon the universe and naturalism. You reject it, and you're wrong.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate the discussion.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's our work.
I appreciate you sitting here with me, and I hope you don't get in trouble with your folks. But
that's cool.
I appreciate the conversation. I really do hope you look into it for real, though. I don't look at it as
I looked into it so much.
Well, I've been looking a little bit more because I think you've missed an aspect of it that would really enhance, even if you don't believe it, it will enhance your understanding in your atheism.
Think about some of my arguments, too. I think I made a couple points. If you can, let it go a little bit.
I agree. If I didn't...
How can 4 million... 40 million Mormons, 2 billion Muslims. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not any of that stuff. But
okay.
You're right.
Well, you don't believe...
They're right.
Are a majority of people in the world atheists? No. So you just refute yourself again. Believe what everybody believes. They can't all be wrong.
Majority of people in
believe
the world
in God.
think you're wrong.
They believe in God, though. So you should believe in God.
People think you're wrong.
You shouldn't be an atheist because most people believe in God, right?
6 billion people.
So that's another demonstration that on your own terms, your argument fails. So anyway, I appreciate it. Have a good night. All right.